see what this thing here does. The obsidian smoothness of the enormous slab begins to ripple and roil. A set of mysterious symbols appears on it, as if impressed on its black surface by an invisible finger. The three brightest ones are symbols for malefice, pestilence, and unraveling. They shimmer forebodingly, like a martyr grasping for air as life drives from them. Ha! Because we learned the language. An inscription above them reads, "My lord, who has known eternity, I heed mine guarding words that I spoke at the dawn of the wrathful stars. He who is condemned to torture by imprisonment must languish forever in the labyrinth of many dimensions, lest their plagues befall us. A minute breach in the impossible prison would suffice for the spiteful will, the destructive thought incarnate in unperishing flesh, the obliterate existence. I lay my hand upon the vessel of the past, and I am revealed the doom that awaits one who breaks the commandments." I don't get those words. Because, I mean, it's clearly Necron. Who are they imprisoning? Who are Necrons? Aren't they all about just destruction? Who would they imprison? And to what end? I guess someone they can't destroy. An envoy places his palm on the Malefice symbol. One after another, new inscriptions appear on the slab's surface. They dash around maddeningly fast, overlapping each other. Amid the chaos, only one inscription latches onto your mind, causing it acute pain. "My lord, in my measureless eternity I remember their doom. I am revealed their first plague, the Malefice, a wormhole that invades the very essence of thought." Your vision goes dark. Reality cuts through the darkness of eternal sleep like a cold blade. You sense wrongness and gain a clear understanding of the nature of that wrongness. Your engrams have been tampered with and damaged. You try to move, but in vain. You're buried alive in the metal crypt of your own body. Oh, I think those are the memories of one of the Necron after the biotransformation. You try to move, but in vain. You're buried alive in the metal crypt of your own body. Some of your fellows are faced with the same fate. Almost as soon as they emerge from their stasis sarcophagi, they freeze like mangled statues, tilt sideways and collapse, crashing to the floor. Maddened legions march thwartedly past them toward a gaping chasm, and tumble obediently into its merciless maw. Even while being flooded with Xenos visions, your mind remains sound enough to analyze the incoming information. Now you grasp the nature of the pernicious Malefice. Someone powerful on the outside is broadcasting insidious interference that disrupts the Xenos awakening from their stasis sleep. Madness is the nearest human equivalent of the effect that it has on them. So it's not about the biotransformation, but they're kind of like controlled to self-destruct. Also the question, like, by whom? Forever frozen in a silent scream, you feel the haze of approaching madness cloud your mind as it's overrun by rows of distorted emerald green symbols. As soon as their glow becomes unbearable, they go out at once, and you find yourself standing beside the black slab again. Right under your hand, the symbol for Malefice vanishes from the smooth black surface. Wrinkling his nose in disgust, Ulfar asks, "Do you go poking your fingers in every kind of Xenos filth you encounter, 8-footer? Or have you taken just a liking to this? Would you like me to chop off that hand before something happens? It will be quick and almost painless. We choose a nice augment for it. No?" No, please don't, Ulfar. Please leave my hand intact. Oh boy. I guess for him it was kind of helpful, but... Slayer virus. The Slayer virus, I mean this curse, one of the varieties of creeping madness which plagues the waking Necrons, is referring to the Flayer virus. Flayer, not Slayer. And is the cause of Necrons becoming the fell creatures known as the Flayed Ones. The Necrons affected awaken with an unquenchable hunger for the warm flesh and blood of the living. They generally seal them away to stop infections. Oh. But why would they... So they completely lose control of themselves then? Because it kind of sounded like controlled by something else. But I guess it's maybe just madness. And of course, what could go wrong? We're going to look at the other symbols. So Edward places his palm on the pestilence symbol. As soon as your palm touches the symbol, the slab's metal pulls it in, enveloping it like water. The text is transformed. My lord, I dare not divert my gaze from the guarding words. I am revealed the second plague, the pestilence. It is not enough to merely behold it, I comprehend it, as my own lifeless shell learns the truth of its doom. The symbols begin to change at a frenzied pace. Their lights burn your eyes, and their rapid flickering makes you nauseous. You're struck by a splitting headache, like an alien entity squeezing your mind out of shape, as if it were soft clay, refashioning it after its own image. It really sounds easy to become corrupted by that. You see an image of a void ship, a black crescent shape, its plating veined with green lights. Right before your eyes, its various parts start crumbling and flaking away as though gnawed at by invisible termites. It is being consumed by tech blight. When only a lifeless carcass is left, you feel a searing pain in your hand, as if pestilence has spread to your flesh and is now consuming it. Oh true, tech blight would be really powerful against Necrons because they are technology. Curious. Yes, and they can only infect other Necrons, and you're partially correct in it being a form of control. This virus is a curse from the only Catan they managed to completely kill. Ooh. Sounds like a really powerful curse. Let's try to bear the pain. I mean, we have toughness 90, we still failed. You cannot stand the pain anymore and jerk your hand out of the slab, unscathed. The flickering symbols freeze at once and begin to fade. The symbol for pestilence is the last to disappear from the slab's surface. And last but not least, let's have a look at unraveling. The symbol you touch splits into three that are akin to it, similar and yet different from one another. A message materializes in front of you. My lord, the third plague, the unraveling, is beyond comprehension. Therefore I put before myself a question bearing clarity. This I ask myself, my lord. If my existence were to be rectified in myriad eternities, would they be the same? Your mind is now drowning in a flood of thoughts and memories, ancient, alien, and indomitable. With a titanic effort of will, you hold on the one of the images, invest in it the sound of borrowed words, and utter it in a strained voice that is not yours. Is it like a parallel universes question? I guess it can be, depending on how you... what are those reflections and eternities? No, for every mirror has its own defect that flaws their resemblance. My lord, I'm revealed the nature of the unraveling, an interminable flow of unmanifested effects of my eternity incarnate. The world known to me is unidentical to the other worlds, nor is it one with them. The other manifestations, the unlikeliness, will wage wars upon me, seeking to absorb and thus obliterate me. I dare not lose my way and doom my eternity to perdition. I am firm in my memory that mine alone is the true eternity whose existence is rightful. I will shatter the mirrored unlikeliness. What kind of mirrored likeliness, or unlikeliness? It seems that the enigmatic text speaks of some sort of distortions of casualty, resulting in multiple alternative versions of existence. It also suggests that these versions are hostile to one another. So it's just like some chaos effects? The symbols come together again underneath your palm, and then vanish from the slab's animated metal. That was both very cool and very confusing, at least to me. So we learned about some kind of curse to the Necron. We learned about some kind of parallel universe mirror thingies.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
But I mean, cool that we couldn't understand. Ooh, here's another one. I wonder if it's the same or a different one. Those are others. As you approach, the black metal of the ancient slab begins to move. Geometric shapes appear on its surface. The three brightest ones are symbols for star, transfiguration, and imprisonment. The mirror has me confused too. Right? I mean, then again, we had a lot about lenses in this game so far, not about mirrors. Above them is another inscription, its flickering as feeble as a dead man's breath. My lord, I've spoken this testament to edify my spirit, so that after my reverie's vision comes to pass eternally, I may shed my oblivion of that which I lost when I gained all, and that which I gained when I lost all. I absorbed the lifeless images, unheedful of the fleeting moments, for eternity is my worship. I lay my hand and hearken, until my memory is an imperishable tomb wherein the ashes of times past are laid to rest. I also wonder who wrote that. I guess some Necron, right? So, we start with a star symbol. The slab's surface wavers and ripples like a bottomless lake. The symbols are washed away and replaced with new ones, the green glow as bright as it is lifeless. My lord, behold the truth of them, the rapacious reapers who drank stars dark. Blind was their eyes' gaze set upon us, futile was their engorgement, for they would never be sated. Are those the Khatan? Sounds like that, right? Bathed in the ferocious rays of a deadly star, prisoners of our own brittle bodies, our race was withering, doomed to hurtle toward imminent and inglorious obliteration. War devoured existence within and without, and unity was a spectre of dreams unattainable. Such was the way of things, and we knew no else till we heard the call of reapers and deathly stars. If this is after the theme transference, by transference you mean, he must be at least a lord. Probably. They made the summons and we heeded their call, and we crafted at their behest indestructible bodies of living metal, for in their voice we heard a hope of escape from the putrescible nature of existence. It is the Khatan. So, transfiguration, I think that's the by-transference. I think this is the first one. It's actually their archive. We're actually learning the history of the Necron. A wave of animated metal sweeps away the symbols, and this left shows you a new set. The glow cuts through the crypt's darkness, making your eyes sting. My lord, I behold the truth of the rite of by-transference, the renouncement of decay-bound bodies, the soul-splitting agony that doomed us to an eternity of triumph. Their messenger was manifested among the overlords of overlords, bearing the gift of triumphant indestructibility. No fee had been promised, yet a fee was to be paid. There came no refusal, and the gifting was done. By transference. But yeah, I mean, given that we get the history also after the biotransference, it is Lord. Almost nobody has this knowledge in the Imperium. This place would be a good mine to the Mechanicus. I guess so. Our artisans harnessed their craft to erect biofurnaces, the gates of indestructible permanence, and we entered the crucibles of immutability. The tyranny of the withering flesh was cast off, and an eternal existence in bodies of living metal commenced. While they gorged their maws with our souls like carrion-eating beasts, for that was their fee. Only select overlords preserved their selfhood tenaciously and fended off the oblivion of their minds and wills. Basically what you just told us, Alistair, before. So, last but not least, imprisonment. Your touch sends the symbols scurrying away like crypt beetles, only for new ones to take their place. My lord, I believe the truth of the fate that befell them, fashioned by our touches. The imprisonment is our liberty. This is the enthroned truth that reigns supreme. Thus delivered from transient life's decay, we came forth as mighty unity. Guided by them, who had now sated themselves, we turned our foes to naught. But their tyranny had not made us oblivious to deception. Preparations were made, and amendments were fashioned. And they were shattered, and their fragments were engaged in timeless Terrasec prisons. There was war. Also, the Necron shattered the Khatan. And that's how the shards came to be. Born before death itself, they were strangers to an existence. Therefore, my lord, I place one of these prisons in your immortal custody. For as long as the Ikmet endures, so too will its impregnable walls. So I guess Yakmat is like a clan or house or family, whatever, of Necrons. Does that mean that in this area we have one of those Catan shards? Is that connected to the plans? Is that connected to the plans of the Inquisition? Huh. I mean, it would fit to have like an even greater evil, right? Cool. Xenos failed. Minus 105. The blasphemous and convoluted tales of the Xenos are scarcely indifferent from the equally whimsical narratives dreamt up by any other inferior Inhumans. They are not likely to contain even a modicum of truth. Doubt? Oh boy. Really good thing we know the language. Because that was mighty interesting.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
I guess we might be able to stumble over one of the Catan shards. Tesseract Vault is a vast, monolithic, and near-indestructible Necron construct built specifically to contain the transcendent Catan, a mighty Catan shard of near-omnipotent power that was once of the Necrons' deadliest foes. These transcendent Catan, nothing less than the amalgamation of dozens or even hundreds of lesser Catan shards. Sounds really dangerous. So, I mean, I guess this was the important world in the system, but let's still also scan the other planets. More plasteel. We really don't need more. Despite having so many extractions. This planet at least looks kind of nice. Kind of Earth-like. Here we have another Necron structure. And of course we can investigate. Abandoned camp. Under thin clouds. Under thin clouds, as if shredded by careless blades, sway vast steppes carpeted by pale gold deadwood. The rock trader's attentive eyes distinguishes a region among the endless grasses that does not fit into the general landscape. I guess this hexagon here. The scouts from the shuttle see signs of intelligent life. Judging by the trampled soil and tent frames, someone made camp here. Distant silhouettes form a tangle of paths and obstacles. A maze. The outer walls are supplemented by a multitude of spikes and blades and decorated with scraps of leather and withered crucified prisoners. Ew. It does not take an expert in xenoculture to reason that Drukhari have been here. But so we have a Necron structure, and there are Drukhari there? And I mean, how did they get the prisoners? Did they put them there just to have some fun? Yikes. And we send out a squad of scouts to search the camp. As they combo the tracks left around the Drukhari structures, the scouts find items of Imperium make, blood-soaked clothes, an Aquila patch, and a data slate cracked in half. Gothic letters and the symbol of the Inquisition are frozen on its bottom half. Sentence fragments make up part of an exploration report. So the Inquisition made it here. But what the heck are they planning to do? What the heck are they planning to do with what could be like a Catan shard? The servants of the Von Valencias find a rough illustration of the camp in the pocket of a filthy coat. On it are marked 2 locations. The first is shown with a sword and highlights the area where the items were found. So I guess enemies in battle. The other is a skull and points to a patch of ground by the maze. Sounds like a trap. And we try to find out what is in the place marked by the skull. The scouts carefully inspect every piece of the land in the marked area and discover a camouflage pit studded with strong, thin needles. And a niche sunk into the wall of the trap glitters a volumetric flask with an ugly creature that looks like several brains stuck together. Ew. We analyze the nature of the creature. Is that also like a demonic thingy? An elder brain? The rock trader's people recognize the grotesque figure as a Drukhari Medusa, a parasite capable of registering emotion and transferring them to its masters. This thing was left here as equivalent of a pick recorder, collecting the suffering of the Drukhari's victims. Ew. Great, so an emotional recorder basically. Which is a cool concept. But yeah, Drukhari methods. And we destroy the abomination. The flask explodes in shrapnel fragments under salvo of the scout rifles. The remaining liquid is collected into several test tubes to be examined in the ship's laboratory and put to good use. Or destroyed, on the orders of the Rook Trader. Pain blockers. I don't know if I would use that and inject that. We continue to explore the area. Deep prints belonging to landing legs and a ladder are visible in the grass behind the maze. The relative positions of the recesses correspond to the design of an Imperial shuttle. When the Von Valencia scouts approach, they find a wax seal bearing the symbol of the Inquisition and a monogram formed from the letters XC. Xavier Carcazar. An officer voices the proposition that the initials correspond to the name of Lord Inquisitor Xavier Carcazar. Oh boy. He really is up to no good. And we search for other objects in the grass. A segment of the dry grass a few meters in front of the prints from the ladder has been cut as if skived. Among the chopped stems lies a piece of Drukhari trophy, a flap of dark skin stretched out by thin chains, most of it covered by a tattoo, a silhouette of storm or tornado, and a black symbol composed of curved lines and sharp shapes. Gosh. So basically they took a part of someone's skin with a tattoo? Yeah. And happily we burn away all traces of Xenos' presence. Go Argenta. The predatory structures do not burn easily, and it takes a long time for them to heat up. When the flames finally gather strength, turquoise explosions flash amid the yellow-orange waves. Whatever was down there was dangerous. Acquired cargo, fuel. Didn't we kinda use up fuel? Confusing. Anyway. Burn, my little planet. Sarah Noga, also known as the Outsider, is the last Catan not captured or shattered by the Outsider. It's the last Cretan not captured or shattered. The Outsider is an insane Cretan whose gaze caused madness and despair wherever it fell. Those in its presence would rather take their own lives than endure its hellish presence. The Outsider is said to have gone into exile outside the galaxy since then, living with a hollow planet far to the galactic south. Better is that, I guess. But so the Outsider kinda retreated and don't want to acquire more energy and stuff? Sounds kinda good for a Catan. I guess.